Brock, and it was easily blocked by Oba. And
straight back up, Lesnar with a tombstone. Do you realize what we just witnessed? Fall from grace. Here's the Oba Femi sees the base.
The hug and the public endorsement was definitely a swerve. I did not see that coming.
January 25, 2024. Janel Grant files a federal lawsuit against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE, alleging sexual abuse and trafficking during her employment at the company. Brock Lesnar is named in the amended complaint, published January 31, 2025. His name appears 44 times. The Wall Street Journal identifies him as the individual McMahon allegedly offered Grant to in an attempt to secure his contract re-signing. Lesnar is not a defendant, but his name is in a federal court document on the public record. 44 times, WWE scraps the Lesnar appearance they had planned for the 2024 Royal Rumble. He disappears from television for almost 2 years. July 2026, the federal lawsuit is voluntarily dismissed by all parties and moved to private arbitration. It is now out of public view. August 1st, 2026, Brock Lesnar loses to Oba Femi in Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. He calls himself the Past. He raises Femi's hand. He exits through tears. WWE immediately moves him to the alumni section on their website, the section for retired and former talent.
Here's the cover. Oba Femi slays the beast.
To understand what happened at SummerSlam 2026, you need to understand what Janel Grant's complaint actually said about Brock Lesnar. Grant alleged that Vince McMahon used her as an incentive to help secure Lesnar's contract re-signing with WWE. McMahon allegedly offered her to Lesnar for a sexual encounter. According to Grant's filing, Lesnar was flown to Connecticut by McMahon for the arranged meeting, though the two did not actually meet as planned. McMahon allegedly encouraged ongoing communications between Grant and Lesnar, instructed Grant to keep him informed of their exchanges, and pressured her into situations she described as frightening. Lesnar was not charged with any crime. No court has found him liable for anything. He denied nothing publicly, because he was not named as a defendant and was not required to respond. But his name was in a federal court document 44 times. That document was publicly accessible. It was being reported on by the Wall Street Journal, CBS Sports, Front Page Sports Media. McMahon denied all allegations. Lesnar made no public statement. WWE made no public statement about why they pulled him from the Royal Rumble. In August 2025, Brock Lesnar made a shocking return at SummerSlam at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. He attacked John Cena in the main event. The crowd reaction was massive. WWE had planned it, and the first question every serious outlet asked was, how? He was named in an active federal lawsuit. He had been kept off WWE television specifically because of that lawsuit. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter reported that WWE's legal team had cleared Lesnar to return approximately 4 weeks before SummerSlam 2025. Meltzer stated he did not know the specific legal reasoning but offered 3 possibilities. WWE was confident the case was heading to arbitration, and Lesnar's exposure would be limited. They were close to a settlement that would reduce his legal profile, or someone in the company made a unilateral decision. What Meltzer also confirmed, specifically, factually, not as speculation, was that WWE canceled their post-show press conference after SummerSlam 2025. The reason, he said, was the Lesnar angle.
Lesnar into the ring, and Brock Lesnar with John Cena on his shoulders. Brock Lesnar with an F5 to John Cena.
From August 2025 through August 2026, WWE built a 3-match series between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi that was, by most critical measures, the best told story the company produced in that period. Match 1. WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, April 2026. Femi defeated Lesnar decisively in minutes. Lesnar left his boots and gloves in the ring. He embraced Paul Heyman. He wept. The building understood what they were watching, the passing of a torch, the ending of an era. And then Lesnar came back weeks later, attacked Femi from behind, and defeated him at Clash in Italy in May 2026. Match 3 was the Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam 2026. Femi won the rubber match, again decisively. Lesnar called himself the Past. He raised Femi's hand, he left, and WWE moved him to their alumni section. Here's what that arc accomplished beyond the narrative. It gave Lesnar a 3-match redemption story in which he appeared serious, committed, and willing to put over young talent. Match 2 at Clash in Italy reversed the WrestleMania result. Lesnar won. On July 13, 2026, the United States District Court for the District of Connecticut approved the agreement between Janel Grant, Vince McMahon, and WWE to move the case to private arbitration. On July 24, 2026, the voluntary dismissal of the federal lawsuit was filed with prejudice. Judge Sarah F. Russell issued the order closing the case in federal court. The case would now proceed in private arbitration, meaning no public filings, no accessible court documents, no press coverage of proceedings, no public record of outcomes. The 44 mentions of Brock Lesnar's name in a publicly accessible federal complaint were no longer part of an active public case. 8 days after that voluntary dismissal was filed, Brock Lesnar stood in the middle of a wrestling ring at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. His home state called himself the past, raised Oba Femi's hand, and retired. The Grant lawsuit had required private arbitration in part because of a non-disclosure agreement signed by Grant with McMahon in January 2022. Multiple insider sources, WrestleVotes Radio, Fightful Select, No DQ, and ITR Wrestling all published reports in the days before and after SummerSlam 2026 saying the same thing. WWE insiders do not believe Lesnar's Hell in a Cell match was his final appearance. One source told WrestleVotes they would be surprised if Lesnar did anything other than his classic disappearing act. Another told No DQ they cannot envision Lesnar walking away before one final lucrative appearance in Saudi Arabia. The destination in question is WrestleMania 43, scheduled for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia in 2027. It is the first WrestleMania ever held in Saudi Arabia. It is, by every financial metric available, the largest contracted sports entertainment event in history. The Saudi government's relationship with WWE, formalized through the Vision 2030 partnership, has produced some of the highest-earning individual events in the company's history. Brock Lesnar has appeared at Saudi Arabia events multiple times across his career. He is one of WWE's most commercially powerful names in that market. The Saudi relationship has also generated criticism from human rights organizations, journalists, and some within the wrestling media.
In 2027, WrestleMania 43 will take place in Saudi Arabia.
Here's the distinction this video is drawing. This video is not claiming that Brock Lesnar's retirement is fake. He may genuinely be done. He is 49 years old. He said on the McAfee show that he is grateful that he has done everything he set out to do, and that August 1, 2026 in Minneapolis was it. That is a real statement from a real person, and it deserves to be taken at face value until the evidence contradicts it. What this video is drawing attention to is a documented sequence of institutional decisions that, when laid next to each other, form a pattern with a very specific shape. WWE legal cleared Lesnar when they had reason to believe his legal exposure was manageable. He returned on the most visible stage possible. A 3-match emotional arc was built that gave him a redemption narrative and a reputation as a performer willing to elevate new talent. The lawsuit that attached his name to a federal sex trafficking complaint moved out of public view. He was given a tearful, emotionally resonant exit in his home state. One more thing before this video closes. The dark reading of this story, the institutional timeline, the lawsuit, the arbitration, the Saudi return, should not erase what Oba Femi actually accomplished. He won a one-sided match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 in 4 minutes. He won King of the Ring 2026. He gave up a world title shot to get the SummerSlam rubber match against Lesnar, and he won that match too. Femi went 2-1 in a series against one of the most credible physical forces WWE has produced. WWE commentators called him the next big thing, a direct invocation of the phrase Lesnar inherited from The Rock 24 years earlier. Whatever the institutional motivation behind the Lesnar-Femi booking, Femi's performance in the series was genuine. His wins over Lesnar were not asterisked. He won a decisive match at WrestleMania 42 that WWE commentators described as the most impressive debut performance on that stage in recent memory. He won King of the Ring 2026, defeating Jey Uso in the final. He gave up a world title shot at SummerSlam to settle the Lesnar series instead. He won that match too. He has a King of the Ring trophy, a Hell in a Cell main event win over a legend, and the next big thing designation from the same commentary team that used those words for Lesnar 24 years ago. That is not a corporate byproduct. That is a career whatever else was being managed around him.